forward to seeing where this goes in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah, it will be very exciting. Yeah, a lot of people getting jobs in a different way, which is different from the traditional ways we used to see.
Yeah. Welcome to Melia Cred Conversations with Elvis. I'm Elvis Melia. At Melia Cred, we provide consultancy and research for economic development. And in these conversations, I seek to understand a bit better what the internet is doing to global labor markets and to workers from the global south, workers from sub-Saharan Africa, in search of better careers in the digital realm. What are online labor platforms doing in this space? What are global business services, contact centers, business process outsourcing industries doing in this space? Is it possible for Africans to export their services from their homes to global clients more easily than it was in the past? Is it becoming easier to earn money online, to earn money through the internet, be it in groups, in a business process outsourcing company, or individually on an online labor platform? Currently, I'm engaged in a cluster of conversations from Kigali, Rwanda, where a global business services sector is emerging and has been in the past 2 years. And I am seeking to hear from different voices of the ecosystem supporting that global business services sector and from the companies in that sector themselves, of course. Today's conversation is with Vivens Uwizeyimana of Umurava, or until recently, Umurava Work. Umurava is a platform that connects digital talent to clients, to firms, in various ways, which Vivens will go into. This conversation with Vivens rounds off the ecosystem angle before we actually go to the companies. Our last 3 conversations of this cluster will be where we hear from the actual companies, the global business services companies investing in Kigali. So I hope you enjoy the conversation with Vivens as much as I did. Here is Vivens Uwizeyimana. Vivens, thank you for doing this. When did we meet? We met a few days ago.
Yes.
We met at a conference, the Future of Work conference.
Yes.
Right? And what do you do?
So, basically, we are building a tech startup called Umurava Work. Umurava means courageous in English.
Umurava means courageous.
Courageous.
Okay.
So then we are building a talent marketplace and workforce outsourcing platform. Simply, we match companies and organizations with Africa's quality workforce that is specialized in these demand areas of the digital economy, mainly technology, creative and digital media, research and data, and the languages as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you personally, how did you get into this space? Where are you from? What do you do?
Okay, great. Normally, I'm born in the rural areas of Rwanda, but growing, I was that student who win mostly in mathematics and science. And in our African schools, if you win very well in those courses, it means you also know English, you also know other really subjects. It means you become the first out of the other students every time. And then it brought good results, and I secured a US-based university. And the time I went there, I was just challenged in the first 2 weeks, looking at the movement of how the things are done, looking at the soft skills which are really appearing among the other students who are, of course, already existing in the university, and also even looking at how we deliver different really subjects. And then, after 6 months, that's why I realized that I bought a lot of skills, ranging from really different types of technology skills, different soft skills, as well as also even going further into some other subject matter experts. And then after just 6 months, I realized that for me, I'm ready for the job market. But immediately, I had to reflect on my other fellow colleagues, students who have been really amazing in different schools, and where I have, of course, gone through for almost 6 years in my high school. And all of those students, they are not in the 3 categories. Some students are in our universities, which are really still relying on local methodologies and the traditional methodologies, where some students can run and are aware that they will not find jobs since after their graduation. The other cluster is among the students who did not get the scholarship to go for universities. They are just sitting there. And another cluster is for these students who said, okay, you know what, let us go in the cities to look for the jobs, where even the jobs are not there. Immediately, that's why I started to see, okay, I'm in a US-based environment, I'm exposed to the digital economy, I can sense it myself, I see a lot of opportunities. There is a way we can really bring more people to these opportunities while really making sure that we invest in untapped potential of young people we have who are really struggling in terms of missing really what is needed, if we can call premium skills which are needed for you to get a job. Immediately, that's where the story started from. It was back in 2018. And then from that time, since 2018 to 2020, I was doing the market research on developing more skilled African talents for the future. And another one was addressing global talent shortage in companies and organizations. That's now the research I have undertaken to come up with that idea we came to figure out to do. But that's really the journey and the background of really taking this idea into the reality. Yes.
Okay. So your platform, your product, tell us a bit about what does your platform do? What would I get from your platform?
Exactly. We have 2 core users. One is a company. Our talent matching platform, we enable the companies to either hire or outsource a single talent or a team for their jobs and projects, and even for both short-term and long-term engagements. It means as we have already vetted the workforce is ready for your jobs and projects. As long as you can place a request through our platform, we match you with really the qualified talent instantly, and we assess your scope of work, and after assessing the scope of work, we match it straight away with really the qualified talent by considering either in industry, technical specialization, and even as well as even the attitudes and soft skills which can match really the good company culture with the talent or the workforce we can place. And soon, I'm glad to announce that we were now more the ones involved in matching the request to the talents, but we are releasing a new feature where we'll be giving really a plate to even the companies, to the employers to come and pick the talents they want by just getting the whole access to the vetted workforce we have. Then the talents, we have the talent vetting system. They pass through 5 stages which combine technical skills check, where we give them technical challenges to work on. And then we have the soft skills and the communication skills where we assess them with our industry experts. And then finally, the people are aware, we see that they are ready for their jobs or they can qualify for a certain training. So that's why we're establishing different networks with the talent partners so that we can be using now our talent vetting system as a tool even for revising even the training program, so that you can rebuild the personalized training program for these young people so they can be ready for the jobs. But those ones who are ready after the vetting system, if they are ready on the plate, they are really good, we start matching them with different, of course, opportunities which are around. And yeah, we are now making sure that we bring into the AI and the machine learning so that we can enhance our technology and, of course, which impact our core workforce solutions.
Okay, and how long have you been doing this?
So we started this January 2021. Yes.
Okay. And how many, could you have numbers of
course, yes. As of now, our data normally we started in January 2021, but in June 2021, that's where we said, let us even approach a company to see, are they able to hire or outsource their talents or workforce from us? Since that time, we have already now served more than 50 companies and organizations, both who are located here in Rwanda and even some other companies located in the US and also in India. And then we have already, through those companies and organizations, we delivered more than 500 on demand jobs through our platform and through our workforce, we delivered more than 20 big projects. These really big projects which are pure outsourced from a certain workforce. And we have so far, again, matched now, so far we are reaching 300 talents matched to job opportunities, and still we have more than 108 unfilled job opportunities which came to us, but we don't have the talents. But that's the journey we are into in terms of mismatch between the jobs available and skills available. So at least it gives us the data that now we have to build the workforce as fast as we can.
So what was that? Can you give me an example of what are the types of skills that were demanded but weren't available?
Exactly. The ones which were not available while being demanded, it was really the good guys in data analysis, and also the software development, the intermediate and the senior level.
Okay.
And as well as also the other guys who are good in digital marketing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So the companies that you've served in the US and India, that's interesting in the sense that you were the intermediary, the platform was the intermediary between the workers in Rwanda and the employers in America or India. Can you give me some examples of what kinds of work people have done from Rwanda?
Exactly, yes. So there is a company in the US, I can't even mention its name, it's called the Soccer Fund. They approached us and they were like, hi guys, we just want to build a department there in Rwanda. We want free software developers and we need one person in digital marketing, because the Affinitech products won't even to be working here in Rwanda. So then what we did, just within 3 weeks, as we vet people before, we managed to get 2 software developers and 1 digital marketing specialist. Within 2 weeks, we hired and we placed those talents. And as it's into remote work environment, that's why we become an end-to-end now. We supply the workforce and also even we help the companies to manage the workforce very well, either in being involved in the performance and even being involved in the payroll management. So that's one of the case studies we have already done. Another interesting story is that we were approached by a company from India, one of the biggest, Conviva Technologies. So then they were like, hi guys, we heard more about you. I think someone referred us to them. And then they were looking for the senior software developers to build some digital products for Airtel here in Rwanda, this telecom company. By that time, it's one of the case studies we have missed from our side, because the senior talents they were looking for already, the ones who can be available, are employed in other international companies and they are getting a good money. So at that time we failed, and then they chose to use the Indians to make sure that their projects have to be delivered. But in another sense, we have another company in India which is working with us in terms of now they started on hiring the business talents, the people who are into operations, project management, data analysis, but we want to extend the contract with them, and they start even to hire the other talents who can be pure into software development, as they told us that they might have a need as well. Yeah.
Okay. So a cluster here setting up of global business services, BPO companies coming in like Gary with the tech experts, like CCI, Deriv. These companies, are they engaged with you? Are you in the ecosystem with them? Is there a collaborative process also with other skilling organizations like Harambe or Education First that are all kind of involved? How is this ecosystem in Kigali?
Okay, wonderful. One thing I can say is that, Kigali is very small, and most of really the partners or the people who are into a certain supply chain really get to know each other in an easy way. Just a quick example from the people who have highlighted, and I tell you how we met. Like I was pitching somewhere, we are in a startup and we are pitching in different ways. And then I was pitching and I was like, okay, we are building a talent marketplace which will be helping the companies to hire faster and outsource faster. And even we're also, of course, on another case saying that at least this would be a tool to see the mismatch which is available among companies and the talent, so that you can now know who to train and how to train. Then pitching someone from RDB, Rwanda Development Board, which hosts the Chief Skills Office, which look at the whole ecosystem. Someone said, you are building something very interesting, and I have to introduce you to the chief skills officer, and then you tell them more about what you guys are doing. I know they have the scope of working in this area, and you can partner as a private company. And yeah, that's how we met first, and then with RDB, first of all, as a government institution, and we have the good negotiations all around on how our new revamped talent vetting system and the talent matching platform, if possible, they can be used nationwide. That's some of the discussions we have as of now. Second, they were the ones now to introduce us to Harambee. And they were like, we see where you are, you can partner with Harambee in one way or another. Just I dropped an email to Harambee, country manager, and then I went there at her office, and we had a chat to see how we can partner, and the ways we have to work with Harambee as a priority will be on now upskilling proficiently our workforce and the talents in English, because they really have that special offer in terms of really positioning where technical talents in, of course, different areas, but with a good proficiency in English, so that if you are about to service the global market, you are very efficient. So then with Kigali as well, they are from Tech Expert, we again met in terms of the collaboration, and even with a local company also called Isovite, we are into good discussions, and I think next year, that's where we're gonna sign a lot of frameworks now in place, but we started to do conversations together, and the good thing, it's really the supporting environment when you see really the BPO sector in Rwanda is collaborating, and to ensure that, of course, we can position Rwanda on the global services, as a global services center, as the public even has invested a lot in the infrastructure. Yes.
Right. So the local company, Solve IT, you mentioned, that's Joseph.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
People of the who've been listening to my interview with Joseph. So, and the country manager that's in Harambee, that's Hannah, and there's Chantal, right?
Yes, Hannah. Yes.
That's also people I want to get on this show.
Yes.
Great. So how do you see this sector changing since you started in January 2021? Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, you were here before already.
I was here,
right?
yeah.
But in the time since we've come out of the pandemic, January 2021 until today, so Tech Experts set up, CCI set up, Deriv set up. How have you seen the local sector of services exports? There's also Code of Africa. I mean, there's
exactly,
GIZ is involved very much in this space.
Yes.
How have you seen the trajectory? Like, have things stayed the same, or has it grown? Or
okay, cool. Yeah, I think the reason why you said that I was here, it's that before, one of even the problem we are addressing in terms of really the issue of talent shortage and unemployment is that young people here, we have been growing in the families where we dream for only the full-time jobs, and which are in these companies we know. I know I will go to work for a bank, I will go to work for this NGO, like you really know the companies we are dreaming, or maybe if you're in the medicine, you know, this is the hospital where I will go to, or I'm going to the ministry. So then, at the time these companies come here, a few people before 2018, a few people were aware of how they can be remote workers or the remote service providers for the companies which are abroad. So then, since these companies came, that's where the people started to wake up and like, there is a company here which can be hiring 600 people, and they are not working for the one company, they're working for the global company. I remember the time Tech Expert set up in Rwanda, I read the article, their plan was to hire 10,000, like 100,000 people within their first year in terms of maybe setting up the operations. Then many people were like, is this possible? Then as these people came, that it was a call to action, even for more, even young people to start even working on their skills, knowing like, okay, is it possible to work for the global company where I'm here? And then COVID-19 now make a game more maybe attractive, and then a lot of really more people are benefiting from the business process, outsourcing sector at a whole. And you see, I think on my side, what I see is that as we see that it's really being the source of more job opportunities to more young people, it's even going to be something that is going to be supported in all corners and all sides, either from the people as perspective, knowing that this is the sector where we can go look for the jobs. If there is that push from the people themselves, the companies will be making sure that let us do faster so that we can accommodate these people. If we do this as well, it's affordable workforce to some companies which are in the US, which are in Canada. The companies will like, okay, let us go to that country as well. So then you find that it's booming. And I remember my last 2 weeks, seeing the CCI launching here in Rwanda, he made my tweet and I was like, I'm really interested with this BPO sector, which is growing fast, and I can't wait to collaborate with them through Umurava work, because in terms of course, what we do in terms of making sure that we can rebuild the quality workforce, maybe that the companies really want. Right. So then you see the move it's growing fast, and I can't wait maybe for other 5 years to come. We'll be seeing more other companies coming to set up the massive number of the workforce hubs here in Rwanda, and even the good thing is that if something is really positive on the country, community, well, why not? It's being supported and it has to grow. Yes.
Right. I mean, we keep when we talk about tech experts and Gary Bennett, we keep looking over there because we're sitting right outside Gary's office, because just as an example of how close knit this is actually. I mean, it's a 1 million people city, but it feels very small, Kigali, in terms of the tech sector and the services sector. And some other African cities, you travel for 45 minutes through the city to get to another office, right? Here, it's really, everything is close together. Norskin's set up. We've done a bunch of interviews at Norskin. There are a lot of tech companies here, and so we're here inside tech experts doing this interview.
For us as a company, we think as of now, in terms of already in-house, we are developing the freelance and the remote workforce management system. And then through the system, we will launch the embedded financial services, which will be basically to provide the loans and insurance services to mostly now these people who feel like, if you are working for a global company and you have a contract with them, most of these companies locally, they will not trust, they don't know that company, first of all. So they will give you maybe the salary advance because they really know that this guy is working for a really good company. It has maybe the potential even to pay the people. So then on our side, we are looking at the way of leveraging on our technologies we have already in terms of data use, if I can put it in that way. Then we are not the ones to own the insurance services or the financial services. Either we partner with a bank which is interested. We tell them, hi guys, now our system is being maybe used by almost maybe 4,000 remote talents who are either full-time and even others are service providers, maybe on a quarterly contract. So then we have just to be doing data analytics and we see, okay, how much can we give to these people? So that's how, again, through collaboration, you can enable even the workforce from maybe tech expert, the workforce from CCI, from the other settings, maybe to benefit from that infrastructure. So that's why we are on our side. We are making sure that we can partner with anyone in this supply chain to develop, first of all, the quality workforce, well-trained people, either both technically and, of course, with soft skills and attitudes. But again, how do we build the digital products to really scale those things and even do it to make those things more enjoying for either the workforce and the companies? So then those are the things we saw ourselves really being involved in starting next year, so that we can make sure that now the people are into global business services sector, the BPO sector now are okay, because before the people were not liking these global, these outsourcing sectors, because the full-time jobs were many, but as of now they can't accommodate the workforce we have. So if global business like BPO sector, it pushes very well the freelancing space and even the remote working space, right? So then from there, if we can see now these things being an engine to jobs creation with the digital economy growing faster, so now how do we enable the workforce now to feel better, to deliver very well, to work on their welfare, to ensure we integrate our solutions with the other providers in different angles to ensure that the workforce can be better. So those are that's our vision when we look at the view in terms of what we have to do for the workforce and even for the companies and the sector. Yeah.
All right, that sounds exciting.
Sure.
Vivens, thank you for doing this.
Thanks a lot.
I really look forward to seeing where this goes in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah, it will be very exciting. Yeah, a lot of people getting jobs in a different way, which is different from the traditional ways we used it to see. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Great. Thank you, Vivens.
Cool. Welcome.